When I was going through my breakup 2 years ago, I was searching for advice on how to deal with it, but most videos and advice out there didn't really help me. And now I'm making a video that I wish I had 2 years ago when I was actually dealing with my breakup and going through all this stuff. With a slightly different take than most videos have, which will hopefully help you to deal with your own breakup. First, a bit of backstory. So I met my girlfriend when I was 19 years old and she was 18 years old in university. And we were together for almost 7 years. At that point, I thought the breakup was the worst thing that could have ever happened to me. But now, 2 years later, I'm extremely happy and grateful that it happened. And here are 6 realizations I had since then about breakups. Realization number 1, breakups are natural and don't diminish their relationship. Society idolizes long relationships. For most people, the pinnacle of an ideal relationship are those old couples that have been together for 50 years. And they always try to seek advice from these people. Please tell us the secret of love. And that's what most people think that they need to go for. So when a good couple breaks up, most people look at them and say, well, I guess they weren't really made for each other after all. Here's the thing. As a person, you're supposed to grow in life, right? And growth means change. Same with your girlfriend. She's also supposed to grow and change. And if you're together for many years, you will grow and change as people. And mathematically speaking, the chances are you're probably gonna change in different directions. And when you change and are not so good together anymore, it's okay to break up. As a matter of fact, it's normal and healthy to break up if you both have changed and don't fit together anymore. After you break up, it doesn't diminish your relationship and what you had before. Many people have this toxic mentality of, oh, I wasted so many years with this person, only because they didn't achieve a certain milestone like marriage or kids. A 5-year relationship is not necessarily worse than a 50-year relationship. Maybe that 50-year couple are miserable all the time and for the last 20 years they've had no romance at all. And maybe they stay together just because they're used to it and are scared of being alone. And the 5-year relationship, on the other hand, maybe it's full of excitement and adventure and just one day comes to a natural end. There's no nobility for staying together in a relationship just for the fact of staying together, apart from validation from the society. Time spent together as a metric says nothing about the quality of a relationship, because you can stay for many bad reasons, such as fear of being single. And this is what actually happens with most couples. They stay longer together than they should have. They say that they're fighting for love, while a lot of times they're just scared of being single. So stop valuing relationships in terms of time spent together, because that's the wrong metric. And ultimately, every relationship ends, whether through death or breakup. So you won't be together forever anyways. So stop idolizing forever and ever. Realization number 2, getting back with your ex is a bad idea, even though it feels right in the moment. When my ex broke up with me, my first instinct was to try to convince her to stay together. Back then I had a sales job, so I started putting together different arguments, both rational and emotional, to essentially sell her the idea that we needed to keep going. My ex, though, was quite clear. We could have as many conversations as I wanted to essentially help process the breakup, but we were not getting back together, which actually I appreciate a lot by her side, because even though she broke up with me, it was by no means easy for her. And slowly but surely the realization dawned upon me that this breakup was indeed happening and I could not reverse it. What's interesting that we had actually broken up once before after 4 years of being together, and after that we actually did come back together. And now in retrospect, both me and my ex have agreed that coming back together after the first breakup was a terrible idea. We just wasted 3 years trying to make something work that wouldn't work anyways. Look, either she broke up with you or you broke up with her for a reason. And if things were great, you'd still be together. People don't usually break up out of the blue. It happens after months of deliberation. As we discussed, in long relationships, people change, and the chances are you're just not good for each other anymore. And it's okay, there's nothing wrong with that. What's wrong is trying to hold on to the past and stay together just because things were once great in the past, while in present they are not anymore. You'll just cause more pain and frustration to you and your ex-girlfriend if you actually convince her to get back together, so just don't do it. Realization number 3, you are not losing her entirely from your life altogether. What I hate most about relationships is that you go from 0 to 100 during a relationship. I love you more than anything, I'll do anything for you, spending 24/7 together, which in itself I think is a bad idea. And after the breakup, you go back to 0, pretending you don't know them, or even hating them, or wishing them unhappiness. What kind of immature reaction is that? What I like most about my past relationship, that even when me and my ex were together, we did not become one person, and after the breakup, we still remained friends. Do we speak often now? No, maybe a few times per year. But if she comes to my city, we meet up for lunch. And if something bad happens to me, I know I can rely on her and vice versa. You don't need to pretend that she doesn't exist, and it's not like you can't speak to her after the breakup. Yes, right after the breakup, it's good to not speak for a few months just to process everything. But after that period, you can have her in your life as a friend. Maybe not the friend that you see often, but that friend that you rarely meet, but when you do, it's always a good time and conversation. You'll only have a handful of long-term relationships throughout your life, so I never understood the concept of completely ignoring the person after. You shared so much together, so you don't need to pretend that she's a stranger and she doesn't exist and nothing ever happened between the two of you guys. Realization number 4, stop idolizing your ex and realize that there are many women who are a good fit for you. After a breakup, I was heavily idolizing my ex, thinking back about all the positive qualities she had and neglecting all the negative qualities I didn't like about her, and trying to confirm to myself, yeah, other girls, they just don't have these qualities. And even physically, I was trying to look for a girl with the same height, body type, hair type, and after 2 years, I can safely say that I met many women who were nothing like my ex, and yet some of the qualities I liked way more than that of my ex. Again, society brainwashes us into thinking that there's only one soulmate for you out there in the entire world. So when you lose your girlfriend, you feel like you need to find the exact replica of your ex-girlfriend. First of all, there are billions of people out there in the world, and no matter how special your ex-girlfriend is, there are many thousands of girls with her emotional type and physical body type. And second of all, with time, you'll actually find out that you could get along with different personality types. So technically, you can date different personality types. There are thousands of women out there in the world right now that could potentially be a great match for you, physically and emotionally. You just need to go out there and find them. Realization number 5, it's good to process your emotions. A lot of men after breakup try to disregard their emotions and bury themselves in work or something else, just trying to forget that the breakup ever happened. What I did instead was I went on long, uninterrupted walks in the forest just to process everything and my own emotions. Simple framework I used to do was ask, what emotion am I feeling right now and why am I feeling it? Big part of this is just being aware of your emotions and letting them out. Sometimes I would cry, but it actually felt good. So later on, I actually tried to make myself cry on purpose, just to let it out of my system. Working out is also a great way to let things out of your system, so that's what I used to do, just go out and work out for long periods of time. I was also journaling my thoughts on a Google Doc, and then I would see what I wrote. I was writing things like, what did I like about relationship, what I didn't like, and most importantly, the things I learned. And all this helped a lot. But it's extremely important that you process your emotions. If you suppress them, they eventually accumulate and resurface as anger, anxiety, or even depression. And realization number 6, going through the breakup was one of my biggest growth periods in my entire life. So going through the breakup was actually one of the hardest things I've ever had to do, but the interesting thing about pain is that pain makes you grow. You don't appreciate pain in the moment, but it does make you a lot tougher. Just like when you go to the gym, you actually break the muscle, but that allows it to grow back stronger and bigger. So as weird as it sounds, be grateful that the breakup is happening for you right now. Yes, it feels counterintuitive right now, but in a few years, you'll look back at this exact moment in your life and you'll think, damn, this actually made me a much tougher person. People want to be tough and they want to be able to resist challenging times, but they don't want to go through experiences that make them tough. Well, going through a breakup is an amazing opportunity to develop your mental toughness, and this will make the rest of your life much easier. I really mean it. In a way, I'm actually envious of you right now because my breakup made me get my act together, and I was able to start doing things I thought I never could do. Just because pain was a really great motivator. So welcome and embrace the pain and let it guide you to becoming a better version of yourself.